everyone is using AI to write their sales pages and maybe just about everything else in their life these days. And that's totally fine. ChatGPT is a really awesome resource and a phenomenal tool that is absolutely game changing. But there's a lot of people who don't understand how it's coded. And so the outputs that they're getting and that they're using on their sales pages, opt-in pages, and in other places is costing them conversion. So in today's show, I'm actually going to share with you 13 things ChatGPT told me to never say on my sales page and why I would absolutely say these things and include them on my sales page. So check it out. ChatGPT is designed to not be biased, not make illicit claims, not sensationalize things or misrepresent information. And look, all of this is for really, really good reasons. You want AI to be honest and look out for what's best for humankind. So the minute that that goes out of the window, we're absolutely in a real life terminative situation. So I'm all for that stuff. But when you're using it in a sales page, that is actually going to lead to you getting really weak and generic copy. In fact, I wasn't even trying to make this the topic of the video. I was actually looking for some additional inspiration on a video about 10 things that you should avoid saying on your sales page to see if I had missed anything to kind of add some stuff to my list. But the responses and the things that ChatGPT was telling me not to include goes against so much of what the greats say to do that I was actually kind of shocked. So I ran it a few times and I kept getting the same answers. So I actually decided to change gears, and that's why we're here today. So with that being said, let's get into these things that you absolutely should be saying on your sales page that ChatGPT is saying to avoid. All right, the first one, this product is too expensive for some people. I absolutely have no problem with this. I have no problem with disqualifying people that may not qualify for your product based on price. Maybe you want to phrase it differently, but I absolutely am okay with the premise of saying, hey, this product is expensive. In fact, Ben Settle does this on all of his sales pages. It's a classic negotiating tactic where you create a price anchor. And so I have no problem with that. In fact, even Dan Kennedy in a lot of his teachings in his seminars, he talks about how he has a very expensive service when he was writing sales letters. So if you wanted to hire him after reading his work or going to one of his seminars, you already knew going in that he was going to have a high price. So I have no problem with saying that the product is potentially too expensive for some people. All right, the next one. Our competitors are clueless. Maybe not in those words, right? Like I probably wouldn't use those exact words, but if you want to mock guru myths or mock guru trends and stuff that's happening in your market and things like that, I really don't think that there's anything wrong with that premise, right? And so again, wouldn't use the exact words, but the premise is okay as far as identifying that, hey, maybe you've got some bad information. Those other people don't really know what they're talking about. They're all telling you to do it this way. You should actually be doing it that way. A lot of people do that in their webinars as far as drawing the contrast between the old way and the new way. So again, I don't think that that's something that should necessarily be avoided when done correctly. All right, here's the next one. We're the only ones who can offer this kind of product. Got no problem with that. Got no problem with that. Absolutely. You should be saying that because if you're not the only one who can offer this kind of product, which means that you do not have a USP, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you doing what you're doing if there's nothing unique about what it is that you provide? Like if you don't know why you're unique, that is a huge problem. And so I am vehemently against this. So if you're using ChatGPT and ChatGPT is writing a sales page and it is trying to dial back your uniqueness to be more generic, right? To avoid making this type of claim, that is a problem. Okay. So you absolutely should be sharing your uniqueness, right? And I'll tell you this too. Sometimes when I get answers like this, I will tell ChatGPT to explain itself. Hey, explain to me why you responded with this. And then it'll give an answer. And then if I really want to go in the other direction, I'll say, hey, write this in a contrarian advice to what you previously said. And when I tried to do that with this exercise, it actually kept going along the path. So it felt a good measure of conviction as far as giving me this information. All right, let's move on to the next one. Buy our product now or you'll regret it later. Again, the exact language, probably wouldn't use that language, but totally okay with this premise. Got no problem with making some type of statement like that. You can doctor it up, right? There's all type of closes that you can use at the end of the sales letter. One of them is the two choices close. And the two choices close basically says, hey, right now you reached the end of this letter, you got two choices, right? Choice number one is do what you've continued to do and get the results that you've already gotten. Choice number two is to give this thing a shot, step out on faith, and be somewhere different in a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, whatever, so that when you look back, you don't look back a year from now, you're in the same space. So I got no problem with having something in a sales page that indicates that you should buy the product now or possibly regret it later. I got no problems with that. All right, the next one. We don't offer refunds or exchanges. Hey, look, if you have a no refund or no exchange policy, you have to say that. So I cannot view this as something that should make any type of list of things to be avoided. That one's very straightforward, self-explanatory. All right, let's hit the next one. Everyone is buying this product, so you should too. Again, don't know why I would avoid that. Why? That is social proof, and you should definitely leverage social proof when you have it to motivate and inspire people to take action to reduce the barriers of buying, right? So this is effectively saying, hey, don't use that as a form of social proof. I got no problems with that at all. All right, let's look at the next one. Our product is so simple, a child could use it. I got no problem with this language. I don't. One of the best commercials of all time was Geico when they said, hey, it's so easy, a caveman could do it. I got no problem with this language. Showing ease of use, explaining ease of use, using that analogy, painting that picture. I got no problem with that. All right, let's look at the next one. We're not responsible for any damages caused by our product. Again, I don't know why you would leave this out if this is applicable. So, for example, like I buy a lot of barbecue grills, right? And you get the grill and you're always super excited to get it and set it up and use it. And I always read the instructions and the warnings, right? And after you read all of those warnings, it like scares you from using it. Like I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to burn my house down with this grill. And so look, in many situations, especially from a legal perspective, if you are not responsible for any damages caused by the product, you absolutely should say that. A lot of marketers put earning disclaimers on their website, right? Terms of service, all of that different stuff. And literally any tool that you buy has those disclaimers. So again, I don't know why you would want to avoid putting it on the website. You should absolutely put that on there if applicable at the bare minimum in your terms of service. Okay. All right. Next thing. We're the biggest, best, and most reliable company in the industry. Don't know why you would avoid that. Don't know why you would avoid it. If you're not saying this, again, it needs to be truthful. It needs to be truthful. When I asked ChatGPT specifically about this one, it just said, hey, if you make too big a claim, then it becomes unbelievable. And maybe there's some merit to that. But if this is applicable, you should absolutely be saying this on your sales page. If you are the best at what you do, the best in your area, if you are the most reliable, if you are the largest service provider, you absolutely should be saying that. Cannot see anything wrong with that. Again, as long as it's truthful. All right, let's look at the next one. Our product is the only one that really works. This kind of aligned with the, hey, don't make a crazy claim. It becomes less believable. But again, look, if it's true, I got no problem with this. I can't see why you wouldn't. I see videos all the time or little boxes all the time, but little infographics all the time showing what one product does versus what another one does or does not do. And so I got no problem with that. Let's look at the next one. Our product is too good to be true. So let me say this, would not use this language. I get that. But the premise of this and the concept is wrong. Like I have a Eugene Schwartz swipe file, and so many of his headlines, and even in his teachings, right, is about creating the desired outcome they want plus the unique mechanism and getting them to think in their mind, wow, I can't believe this exists. Wow, I can't believe that I can get the desired outcome I want without all of the negative things. So, in essence, you are making a value proposition or claim that could come off as too good to be true. Again, you're not going to use those exact words, but when you're seeing stuff like you have to see it to believe it, I couldn't believe it, you won't believe it. Like that's totally fine. So again, I got no problems with this. All right, let's look at the next one. Our product will change your life. Again, I got no problem with that. Now, obviously, I would want to maybe give a little bit more context to it, but I see people all the time talking about how their product will change your life, change your business, change your life, change your future, offering you that transformation. So, again, would you use those exact words? Maybe not, even though I've seen those exact words, but I got no problems with that. And then the last one, it was saying, hey, we're only offering this price for a limited time. Now, when I asked ChatGPT, hey, what's the problem with that? It said, well, yes, it is creating urgency, but it may pressure people into buying before they're ready. Here's the thing, urgency is a best practice no matter what you're selling, whether you sell in a sales page, whether you sell over a phone, whether you sell in a webinar, it is all about creating urgency, giving deadlines, giving timelines, but being ethical about it and then following through with those timelines when you set it, right? Like if you say, hey, this offer is only good for the next 48 hours, then making very well sure that after 48 hours, they cannot get that thing, right? And so if you're being honest and credible in actually holding your deadlines, I have absolutely no problem with this. I have no problem with this. In fact, I would tell you that if you're not using urgency, if you're not setting deadlines and timelines, you're actually making less sales. That's just a fact. So there you have it. Those are the things that ChatGPT is telling you to avoid on your sales page that you absolutely should not avoid. And so until we meet again at the appointed time, it's your boy Huss. Peace.